items. I gotta get those items, you never know. Oh, wow. Get the fuck out of here, Isaac. Before this giant core of the planet smashes back into the planet. Whoa. Damn, he got out of freaking orbit pretty quickly there, didn't he?
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry.
All right. I don't know what that last little bit there where he's taking his helmet off. I wonder if that's a bug. Because it looked like, why did it suddenly switch back to him taking his helmet off? I think that might not have been necessarily intentional after she did the thing. All right, anyway. That was Deadspace. This is where I typically talk about my thoughts of the game overall, my review, blah, blah, blah. A little bit different here because normally I'm playing a little bit newer games, but this is older. Overall, it's a great game. I feel like it's really held up. I don't feel like it doesn't feel dated to me. The gameplay is still fun. I mean, you still have the upgrade system. Now we're probably more used to a more robust upgrade system instead of just your weapon do more damage or you take more hits. Not things like that. Maybe, you regenerate health now, or if you do a headshot, you do your next hit's a critical. I don't know, kind of making stuff up. But yeah, I definitely feel like overall it holds up. Even graphically, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's obviously dated, but I definitely don't think by any stretch it looks awful. Again, the game was made in, I think, 2008. So it's like 7 years old. But again, I think it looks fine. The atmosphere is great. Again, with this Let's Play, you miss some of that because I'm just sitting here talking to you about it, and I've played it before, and I don't really get super scared by these types of games, so a lot of that is lost. I remember when this game came out, and the horror genre had kind of, died out, right? Resident Evil, the Resident Evil 4 was not horror at all, and people were saying, the horror thing is over. This is obviously before YouTube helped to make scary games really popular again. But anyway, I digress. I remember this game coming out and people on the forum that I used to read at the time saying, "Oh my god, this game scared the shit out of me. To the point that I can't even finish it, or I finished it but I thought it was incredibly scary, etc." So I think if you play this yourself, obviously probably less scared now since you kind of know what's coming up, but it's still very creepy. I really like the atmosphere. There are some jump scares, but I feel like jump scares are basically the puns of horror, right? It's just lowest common denominator crap that anybody can pull off. Anybody can do jump scares. It's not hard. What's really terrifying what's really skilled is getting into people's heads, making them afraid to turn the corner, and just the suspense that builds up in your head. I think that's way, way better than the jump scare thing. And I think this game does use jump scares appropriately. I'm not completely against them, but they should be used. They should be used lightly. And again, I think this game uses them to pretty good effect, but it focuses more on psychological horror. The music, just the environments are done really well. And one nice little touch that I've noticed is, and I talked about this during the Let's Play, is that I don't like when games that are supposed to be horror or scary just have music playing when there's an enemy about. They all, like, as soon as the enemy's about, it just plays music, right? I don't like that because I feel like it gives too much away to the player. I think it's much more terrifying to be thinking, okay, did I lose the enemy? Is there enemy around? Is he coming after me? Did he see me? Things like that. Like, you have to wonder that if you're not looking at them directly. Are they looking for you? If the music's playing, oh, I have aggro. There's enemies around. So I know that I need to be cautious. I think it's much more terrifying to not have that indicator telling you that the enemy is still out there and they're looking for you. In this game, obviously there is music that starts once you get into combat, but there's a lot of times the enemies were around, but it wasn't playing the combat music. I think what's triggering of it is if the enemy is like engaged with you fully. Sometimes, the enemy would spawn and they would just make a beeline for you. Other times they were just kind of wandering around a little bit. But there's a few times there was definitely an enemy around that I just missed, or I saw but I didn't engage immediately, and the music didn't kick on until I did, or until the enemy saw me, and then the music kicked in. So I feel like that was an interesting way of doing that. I think it was a really good way of doing that, and kudos to them for that. But yeah, this was definitely a good start to the series. Deadspace 2, in my opinion, is actually a better game. Just because I like the gameplay elements more. There was a little bit more interaction with other NPCs, and one NPC in particular they introduced in the second one was pretty cool. I ended up liking her quite a bit, and it was just really fun. And like I said, the whole cutting enemies' arms off and hitting them with their own limbs was pretty awesome and just very satisfying to do. To me, it was. I mean, some people did argue that the second one was less scary. And again, since I didn't really get that scared of either game, it wasn't really a big negative for me. Overall, with these type of games, I get more into the atmosphere and the ideas that I see them. Like, for example, in this game where the loot footlocker opened by itself. There was no music, no enemy jumped out, there wasn't anything weird or screwed up. It just opened by itself. That was sweet. That little bitty touch I thought was nice. I think it's the little things like that really get under people's skin. Not that, the obvious stuff oh, I've finished this quest objective, or I picked up this key piece, or I've unlocked this area. I know for a fact that enemies are going to spawn. And this game did have that for sure. With moving the marker through the bridges, we knew that as soon as I pushed it through a bridge, enemies were going to spawn. That's pretty much just the way it was working. So it did fall back to some of those old tropes, if you will. But I feel it okay. Ooh, I like how it's doing that for this one. And I like the kind of psychological thing where you're seeing stuff and everybody else is seeing things and talking about it. And ooh, the military suit unlocked. Backstory logs unlocked. 50,000 credits acquired. 10 power nodes. Nice. Impossible mode unlocked. I forget what impossible mode is. I know in the second one, the most highest difficulty, you could only save 3 times in the entire game. So and no checkpoints. So save your game and load it again to play another round with all your equipment. Save your progress. Yes, we will save, but we won't be playing it again. Though I do like when games give you that option. I think that's good extra replay, and you can, especially if you kind of struggle to the first time and you want to get revenge and just blow the hell away everything, then you can just you can get your revenge. But overall, great game. I suggest it to pretty much anybody, especially to kind of see how horror games kind of got restarted. I feel like it happened with Deadspace to some extent. I think you should definitely pick it up. You probably can easily grab this game on sale for $5 to $10. I think I've seen it on sale for $5 over and over again. And at the time of this recording, the Christmas sale should be coming up in a month or two. So you should easily be able to pick it up for that much. Maybe even Dead Space 1 and 2 for $5 or $10. If you can get this and Dead Space 2 for $10 and you have not played them, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do so, because they are both great games. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Thank you folks for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of this series. Follow me on Twitter, and I will see you next time.